visitors threatened to boycott the two events and the head of state, where the head of the state is actually expected to be at, and this among others include the State of the Nation address and the national budget reading, and these are things that the MPs have threatened to boycott and not be part of if at all they are going to be subjected to the mandatory COVID-19 test. But Speaker Among promised to hold talks with Special Forces Command, the allied that is force also really protecting the head of the state and the other officials, and to also really end the practice of confiscating their phones and iPads of MPs, and also really end compulsory COVID-19 tests for them as MPs. However, efforts are also underway, that is to meeting the head of the state in there. And the COVID-19 pandemic record that is havoc in the world between 2020 and 2022, although it is no longer a threat. Museveni wears face masks, and whenever he's meeting people, they have to really undergo that is the mandatory COVID-19 test. And the president's visitors are also subjected to mandatory COVID-19 test, and it is understood that Museveni keeps in his guard up. That is because recently, last year, his wife Janet Museveni tested that is positive for the virus, and that is said to have largely mutated. That is the Erika variant in there, and that's something we are yet following up on. And how will this end? Definitely we do not know, but we are yet following up on that, and we want to see how this will also really be ending in there, and that would be quite well. And UPDF soldier detained after civilian suspects escape from custody. This is also really another story that we are seeing on the path this morning. I don't know what you think about it, but yet we are yet following up on. And at least 5 UPDF soldiers that is attached to Uganda Post Defense Forces have also really been arrested, and 3 civilian suspects escaped after 3 civilian suspects escaped. That's from a military detention facility where they had been held, that is since November 2023. And Richard Aliganyira, 34 years old, Chris Rueza, 25, and Bashir Kasaija, 31 years old, are said to have escaped. That's from UPDF Mountain Division headquarters, that is in Muhoti Barracks in Fort Portal, where they had been detained for months following their arrest on charges of aggravated robbery. And the public information also the officer of UPDF Mountain Division and Operation Suja, Major Bilal Katamba, said the escapees were slated that to appear before the division court martial on a yet to be identified date, but really they have also already escaped in there, and that is also a reason as to why these UPDF officers have been arrested. And although specific details after the escapees' alleged offense remain undisclosed to the public, the 5 UPDF soldiers who were on night duty on that day of the escape have been taken into custody for questioning, and the suspects in custody include that is Guard Commander Major Katamba, said the arrest of the soldiers intended to facilitate thorough investigations into the circumstances surrounding the escape and prevent similar instances in future. And really how the civilians escape in the hands of UPDF officers, this is also really where we also need to understand. If at all the investigations continue to go on, could there be some connivance? Definitely I do not know, but we are yet also really following up on that matter, and we want to see maybe these people who have escaped can be brought back to maybe to book, because they committed serious offense, because robbery is really a crime which also really needs to be also really addressed. Because if you look at how much money people are losing today in hands of robbery, you realize people are losing a lot of money. Even right in Arua City today, we have seen our young people becoming robbers, where they use motorcycles to grab people's phones, people's handbags. All these are robbery cases, and all this need to be addressed. And where we are seeing the suspects also really escaping, it becomes quite absurd for us to continue to witness. And really that is also really where the UPDF soldiers need to answer where these people have gone, because we want to see these people be brought to book. We want to see these escapees brought back, and that will also really be quite well. And moving on, registration mandatory, that's for physical planners to practice under new law, is already something we are seeing on the path this morning, and we want to follow up on. Remember, physical planning is something that we are talking about today. For us to attain that is sustainable development and sustainable growth, we must undergo that is also really what we call the physical planning and several committees. And these are the several physical committees have already been implemented and have already been put in place in various places. And recently we did see where we also had a meeting in Arua City with the physical committee, that is at the National Physical Committee Planning Committee, also coming up to Arua City. Now there's need for people to also really have these committees being formed, and that's also really before you building, you have to really undergo and ask how you also want to see to that you build your houses, and it is also them to approve, and that is already where it is now handed over to the building committee. And really that is also something that would be able to bring that sustainable development. First of all, we are going to see people also really avoiding buildings and wetlands, and then secondly, the issues that is related to that is also flooding will be addressed, because people are going to build houses in relation to also the physical planning also that is in place. And then secondly, the issues of road network will also be addressed in there, because the buildings are going to be planned, and for issues where people are going to be maybe buying land that is also already where there's a gazette, maybe there's a reserve. These are all going to be addressed because the Physical Planning Committee would also definitely address these concerns, and that is also something we are following up on, and really we also want to pick up your ideas. And for these members to be registered, more so those who are going to be working as the physical planners, there's need for them to be regulated, because if they're not regulated, then definitely people may also take advantage of that. We may also see people maybe emerging as quacks and take advantage of members of the public, where they're also going to be disguising to be doing the work of the physical planners, which at the end of the day would be very, very much bad. And the physical planners in Uganda will soon all be required to be registered as a precondition to practice in the country. That is according to provisions of the Physical Planners Registration Act, that is of 2023. And Ms. Amanda Ngabirano, the chairperson that's of the National Physical Planning Committee, say the mandatory registration by a yet to be named board will help out also really wipe up the issues about quacks. And more earlier on we were talking about the issues of quacks, and this is sort of something we want to see addressed, because sometimes people lose a lot of money in the hands of quacks. We have seen this quite common with what we are saying today. What we are seeing today, more so in the medical field, we are seeing also already in the land survey, we are seeing other sectors also being very, very much infiltrated. That is by the issues of quacks. And now to address all this, that is where I want to call upon the issue about the Physical Planning Committee be also already be very, very much brought in there. And Ms. Ngabirano is an ex-official member, that's of the Interim Executive Council, or that's of the SPPU, chaired by that's Brian Odella, with other members being the Nation Media Group, Uganda Managing Editor Tabu, also Butagira, and IEC Treasurer, that is Tugume, Secretary Wilson Awuzu, Ms. Anne Achom, and also Ms. Anne Achom, not forgetting Ms. Hafsa Namuli, Ms. Rufna Katude, and also as well as Mr. Vincent Biandimaira, the Executive Director, that's of Physical Planning at City Hall, and all these are going to be working together. And the State Minister, that is for Urban Development, Mr. Mario Bigakania, Commissioner, that is the IEC members in June last year under Section 23, subsection 5 of the Physical Planners and Registration Act 2023, mandating them to organize, that is, the elections within a year for choosing the substantive executive council of, that is, the SPPU in there. And that's something we want to see, and maybe somebody could be asking how the polls did go on. And these polls are slated that to take place today. That's at Mistil Hotel in Kampala, where physical planners are established, who were established under the society, under the Section 19 of this Act, will converge that as SSPU chairman also confirmed in there. And that's sort of, we want to see maybe the members voting for the right people who are going to be steering the affairs of that. And that election will be going today. That's at Mistil Hotel in Kampala, where all the physical planners across the country will also be required to vote in there. And if subscribed, physical planners irregularly approves developments, Mr. Odella say they will be subject to disciplinary action. And this is already where, if at all these people do not work with what is in the law, and that's already what they are supposed to be doing, definitely the law will be able to sort of maybe catch up with them. And the Physical Planners Registration Act 2023 provides that for establishment of a board whose members are yet to be also appointed, are set to monitor and regulate professional standards for physical planners. It will also register all persons eligible to practice, and also that is also really going to be able to address the concerns, which to me in relation among others include, that is the issue about also really quacks, because quacks today are very, very much many, and really I want to also really say, let's also see that the issues are addressed, and that's also something that will be able to also really at the end of the day provide justice for those who would also want to, maybe the professionals, do their work very well, because if at all maybe we don't have professionals to do that work, then definitely we are going to be seeing quacks taking advantage of that. And now let's move away from that. Let's look at what is happening in the socio-economic drive and the PDM, where we're seeing execution stands at that's 63%. That is according to information from the NRM, and that's something we are seeing on the past morning, because the PDM is actually one government initiative that is to also elevate poverty out of the country. And as the National Resistance Movement took that stock of its midterm findings, that's on April 25th, to ascertain the progress of maybe what has so far been made right from 2021 to 2026 manifesto, where it pledged, among other several commitments, it has revealed that the implementation of the Paris Development Model action areas that also stands at that 63%, and the PDM, an ongoing government intervention for wealth creation, aims at pulling households out of poverty in there. And that's something we are seeing on the past morning, and yet we want to see people supporting this government initiative, because in some areas people have not been able to also really emulate and support the PDM, and that is already where we are saying these have also really been able to hamper several government initiatives. And that's already something we are yet yet following up on. And that's something we want to continue with the discussions on, and other sectors that have attained progress. And remember, so many districts have already received the money, and this is actually in fulfillment of the pledges the government made, that is towards East 2021/2026 general elections, and really that is also really what we want to see. But then the question you should be asking yourself is that, have you received the PDM money? And really, if yes, what have you done with the money? Are you planning to refund the money back? These are the questions that should be able to linger in your minds, because this is a revolving fund. For those who have obtained the money and chewed it, you must start thinking of refunding back the money, because this money was not given for you, maybe as some of you thought, that it is politics money, but we are saying it is not politics money. This is money government is giving out to elevate poverty, and really poverty remains a great concern, because yesterday we did see Matu also really saying and also calling upon the clergy to embrace, that is the fight against also poverty, where he did say it is difficult. And we also did see what the mayor also echoing out his voice on the same matter, saying it is very difficult to lead the poor people, and that's why the clergy needs to speed up. That is also already in spreading, that is the socioeconomic maybe drive goals, so that already everybody is above the poverty line. He made a comparison of what maybe comes in offertory. For instance, he mentioned one of the churches within a rural city and compared it to what offertory is being given to a rural church in there, and they say it is definitely difficult to rule these two people. And now let's move away from that. So let's look at now what is happening way back in Western Sub-Region, in Nebi district in particular, where the locals in that district have been tipped. That's on electoral reforms. And remember, so many government initiatives and non-governmental organizations are currently undertaking. That's the goal of sensitizing the people about their goals. That is also their mandate. That is in relation to, that is socioeconomic, maybe their electoral process. And that is also really something we did see recently in Arua district, where Western Civil Society Network also did take up the initiative together with Uganda Human Rights Commission to educate and sensitize the locals about their rights also of participating in this election. Let's first see what happened in Nebi and what exactly the leaders in there were saying in this baraza, also to train the locals about their mandate in elections.
Stakeholders in Nebi district have been urged to abide by the electoral processes and to safeguard and hold transparent elections. This was observed on Wednesday, 24th April 2024 at Nekosok Hall, Nebi, during a one-day training organized by Strengthening Citizens' Engagement in Elections, SIN, a non-governmental organization working in West Nile region. Moses Orenge, program coordinator for West Nile Civil Society Network, WESISNET, said that the interface training with the duty bearers and citizens is very important, as they are entrusted to safeguard electoral processes in this country. Orenge added that the training was to unearth concerns citizens have been facing in the previous elections. He also outlined issues of intimidations, voter bribery, and police brutality during elections.
The meeting of today was basically to come and unearth some of the concerns or issues that citizens have been facing on the electoral processes. Some of the issues that's already raised, and you heard them from inside, the issues that have been having with the registration processes, voter bribery, intimidation, and all that, and also they were complaining about police brutality and the rest. So this meeting serves as a very critical meeting to duty bearers and citizens to come together to clarify on some of these allegations that have been brought forth. I'm very happy for the meeting because we have had commitments from our duty bearers, and there have been acceptance that yes, one or two mistakes could have been made, but moving forward, they have committed to address the gaps that were raised by the citizens.
Xavier Rotumeo, Nebi District Youth Chairperson, who also attended the training, says there should be enough time for people to understand on how they should know the electoral processes and the kind of candidates they should vote in the coming elections 2026. Rotumeo believes that voters should know the agenda of the aspirants if they want better service delivery.
As a youth chairperson, I'm trying to interest myself more in the civic education. Let there be enough time for people to understand how they should know the electoral process and the kind of candidates that they are supposed to vote in the coming election 2026. That means now we should be more interested in understanding the agenda of these aspirants If we want a better Nebi, if we want a better community, if we want a better service delivery for Nebi district. So that is one thing that I feel we should do more as people of Nebi.
However, Atim Betty Owor, returning officer or Nebi District Election Administrator, tipped the participants on voter involvement and accountability from Electoral Commission. Owor says election is a process that is run by a combination of people. She applauded WESISNET for the holistic engagement with the stakeholders and voters on the electoral processes.
Different parts of the district in Nebi was about how transparent and prepared the Electoral Commission is. And we as the Electoral Commission, of course, have informed our voters and key stakeholders in Nebi district that elections is a process. Elections is a process that involves, that is run by a combination of people. We cannot do it alone as Electoral Commission. We need the voters on our side, we need the administrators, the government on our side, we need the police, we need the parties, political parties, we need the candidates, we also need the CBOs on our side. And with a holistic approach to this kind of arrangement that the Electoral Commission is promoting through stakeholder engagement, we are happy to inform the public that if we move as a team, we shall be able to ensure that forthcoming elections are free and fair. We cannot move alone.
Honorable Emmanuel Orombi, LC5 Nebi District, was in attendance, urged Electoral Commission to always work together with the civic organizations on voter sensitizations. Orombi is optimistic that the engagement will help the electorates with the guidance and civic education in 2026.
And that civic education, that part of funding is given to what? To NGOs and civil society organization. So it is not with the government. And the Electoral Commission, what they do is voter sensitization. This is how to vote, and this is where you have wrong votes, and this is how to do. But anything to do sensitization and awareness creation is under CSOs, and the fund goes there. Then also those who want to participate as electoral observers, and then have been saying, well, me media, we have been denied. For us, CSO, we have been denied. We want to be voter, election observers. But here today we have learned clearly that they are supposed to register and accredited, so that in order to participate. So all these were the things we have been discussing here all day.
For many years, elections in Uganda have been characterized by voter bribery, intimidations, among others. With the protracted efforts, this engagement will address some of the issues in Nebi District. Alfred Jawok, West Nile TV, Nilecast.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Right, welcome back from that long commercial break, and we are back. That is to the evening of the show, and remember our final destination remains, that is 9 o'clock, and at 9 o'clock the news bulletin Lubarati, that is with Mukulia Lawrence, will be coming through. But before we get to give you that, within Arua City we did see the flagging of the groundbreaking. That's for the construction of a trauma facility that is at Olia Center 3 recently, where the staff accommodation and houses and on top of a one-stop youth center at Olia Center 4 will be able to be developed. That's at Arua Center Division in Arua City. And remember, this is already in a bid that is already improved on the health facility, and I really want to see at one time this health facility being elevated and developed, because these are all the signs now. We want to see that facility being developed, because this facility is catering for a number of people coming all the way from the neighboring areas of Ivo Division. We are seeing people coming as far as maybe parts of DRC, and all of them access services that's from the facility, and people within Arua Central Division themselves already are very, very much sick for services that is in health, that is from this facility here. And now for the facility to develop and undergo development, that is of a trauma center, which is very, very much good, because sometimes these facilities where we have seen people also getting the challenges of getting maybe trauma, they have to be referred, that is, to other facilities. For instance, in the Arua Government Hospital, where Arua Regional Referral Hospital, where the numbers are sometimes overwhelming, and where they also have to be referred to private facilities where the charges are very costly. And these are really where the challenges in relation to trauma treatment have always been, because sometimes people are traumatized, but they do not also really see where maybe they can get the services from. And with the development of the facility, I want to say this is really a milestone, and really we want to see that being developed very faster, so that also the services can be brought closer to the people that is within Central Division. And really that is where Oli Health Center 3 or 4 is, and that is something we want to remind you of, because that facility is started as what we knew as a Health Center 3, but today we are seeing it as also really being upgraded as into a Health Center 4, and we want to see that one time also be upgraded that into a hospital. That would be quite well, and that's something we want to remind you of as we continue with the show. And moving on from that, let's first look at what is happening now in the neighboring of the district, in another district of West Nile, that is the Moyo district, where the district is said to be grappling with lack of, that is, of holding facilities that for juvenile offenders, as the investigations are being conducted by police. And the district has been struggling to obtain facilities that is for the juveniles offenders pending investigations that an offence is committed. And today we know that many of these juveniles, not only in the Moyo district, even in Arua City, are committing a number of crimes, and for them to be charged, there's no way. And this is already the same challenge that is already being undergoing, that is through by the police department, that's of Child and Family Protection Unit, where the facility also lacks, that is, proper accommodation and also really furniture to take care of these cases among the juveniles, because that is the family, also that is that facility that is handling cases related to family and children affairs, but really it is also really lacking, that is, the necessary support. And that is only a reason as to why this facility is not to be developed, because juveniles, these are people who are presumed to be below the age of 18, and the crimes they commit also really cannot be charged in the courts of law. And that is only a reason as to why these juvenile courts also need to be established, and the facilities for these investigations also need to be also maybe done, because sometimes we do understand that these people are also being used as ADs by adults who also take advantage of them because of their size, because a child can move very far, and it is also very difficult for you to suspect a child to be a criminal. And that's also as to why sometimes they end up taking advantage of the members of the public, and that's also something we did see yesterday. And moving away from that, now let's look at what is happening in Nebi during a meeting with the contractor. That's for the rehabilitation of Alwi Nebi Road. The leaders in the district are expressing that is gratitude for the construction of Alwi Nebi Highway by China Railway 18 Company, and that's already something we want to see. Maybe, I don't know, they're also already being talked about, because we want to see all these things also already being developed, because our roads have also really continued to remain in the status that they were in, and this is a deplorable state which is really not in good shape. And we want to see all the roads in Western sub-region, of which we have often complained about, being developed. If you look at what is also happening elsewhere, for instance, the road that is connecting connecting Yumbe to Moyo. Same challenges have also been raised about the status of the road, and all this have to be developed, and that is already the reason as to why we need to continue talking about this road sector, because the road sector is still the biggest means of transport that we use, and it's also the biggest mode of transport which is also really commonly accessible, that is to the people of the country at large, and that is also a reason as to why there is need for these people to be also be able to develop this road sector, and for the road network to be developed. It is also really a reason as to why we need to continue championing the issue about the development of this road, and really these are the roads that really continue to remain in deplorable status, and for these roads to be developed, there is need for us to also really continue talking about, and that's also really a reason as to why our leaders need to continue reuniting and talking about the call that is for this road to be developed, and that would also at the end of the day also really see to that also we develop our road, and our road network also develops, and that is the reason as to why we want to really call upon our leaders to work together, and obviously that summarizes our discussions to what is happening in the aspects. And now, as usual, to summarize the discussions with what is happening in the world of sports, yesterday we did see so many games also really going on, that is right from the region and internationally, and if I can be able to really summarize some of the games that did go in yesterday, but before I get to give you that, yesterday we did see the team of Mvara Senior Secondary School, the winners of West Nile Regional, that is post-primary secondary school games, as well as also really the winners, that is of Arua City ball games for the secondary school, also really traveling, that is to Masaka City for the forthcoming national games that will be able to commence on Monday, and the team traveled yesterday, and according to information from the stakeholders, the team is really very, very much well prepared. Let's first see maybe what they are saying and how prepared they are for this forthcoming tournament. That will be well and good.
West Nile Region Post-Primary School Giants Mvara Senior Secondary School are optimistic and determined of success ahead of National Secondary School Championship slated to kick off on Monday next week in Masaka City. The players and the coaching staff of the school left in the wee hours of the morning. In the year 2014, Mvara Senior Secondary School was able to go up to the finals and lost it into the hands of St. Mary's Sitende. During the friendly game they played against Arua City, they went on to play out a 2-all tie which was played yesterday, 24th of April 2024. Aziz Aiko, the team captain of Arua City Football Club, says the team looks stronger.
The game was not bad. I think we started well, but mostly, as it's a school team and this is a club, so I think my guys started the game in a bit low on a low pace, just because they thought these guys are kids. But we got a challenge in the second half, so that's why we tried to push harder. That's why we won the game actually, but then it was not our day. We had to get our own goal from our teammate. That made it 2-2. But actually I think the game was not bad. Truth to be told, because according to the stage we play and the league we are in, if they can challenge us like that, I think they're a better team to go. The team is actually good. Yeah, they are good to go.
Afaya Santori, the assistant captain of Mvara Senior Secondary School, says the team is well prepared.
Actually, our preparation for the national, I think we are doing well, because if you see the preparation, our coverage well, I think we're just going to repeat the history, because Mvara is well known in the national. Because if you see our preparation, I think the guys are fit. We are just waiting the games to go and play, and we are traveling this night. I think if you see the way we are not preparing it, we still have a chance to win the national.
Meanwhile, Bogre Mustafa, the assistant coach of the school, promises nothing but success.
We have prepared for the nationals. Like I said time back, we are going to represent the region, which this time I think we shall do it. Yeah, the team is in good shape, though there have been some little knocks, but I've seen they are recovering well. At least today they got some minutes in our last friendly, which we played with the Arua City, which was really okay for them. I think it will prepare them mentally and physically.
Mvara last played internationals in 2022 when they were the host school and got eliminated in the quarterfinals after losing into the hands of Tibul SS at Ababet Kulai Stadium.
All right, as the team has already traveled, we wish them all the best, and they have to also raise the flag, that's of West Nile sub-region, very much high. And they're not alone. We also have several other schools that is from West Nile sub-region, and they will be representing the region at the forthcoming USSA forthcoming national ball games, that is Masaka, and really the group stages we already released. And maybe for somebody may be interested in knowing the groups, and in Group A we shall be having Amus College, that is school, or in Group A with Kayingu Secondary School, we shall be having Achaba Secondary School, St. Maliko, we shall have Hope SS, Bira and Nkoma SS in Group A. Then Group B, for the girls category, we shall be having Shuku Vocational, Biaya from West Nile Steel, and also in Uganda Matters Lubaga, Bukede Comprehensive Secondary School, Amazing Grace, and Latifa Mixed. Meanwhile, in Group C, we shall be having Sacred Heart, Masaka SS, Binyinyi SS, not forgetting St. Kagwilo Django, and not forgetting Nyakasenyi Secondary School, as well as Tariet Secondary School. We shall have in Group D, that is Kaimpe Muslim. We shall also have, that is Bishop Komboni, Moyo Star, and St. Mary's Magdalene, Chezoba, Ndeje SS in Group D there. In Group E, we shall be having, that is Rhines Secondary School. We shall be having St. Charles, Luanga, YY Okot. We shall be having Jinja Secondary School, Kisozi Secondary School, as well as Dynamic SS in Group E. Meanwhile, in Group F, for the girls category still, we shall be having, that's Bon Conceal, Buwebe Secondary School, Lamin Secondary College, and as well as Moroto Secondary School, not forgetting Highway Chiganda, and Standard High Zana in Group F there. In Group G, we shall be having, that's Shema Girls, Bunya Girls Secondary School, Aidan Secondary School, Labira Girls, Akihi Secondary School, Highway Sironko School, also in Group H. And lastly, Group H, we shall be having that St. Noah Girls, Mukono Kings, Kongole Girls, Omset Secondary School, Moon Vocational School, and lastly, that's Mary Hill for the girls category there. Meanwhile, for the group of boys, that is where most of the emphasis is in USS National Boys Championship in Masaka. In Group A, we shall be having the Giants, St. Mary's Tende, Mbale Progressive, we shall have Ngora High School, Sozi Secondary School. Meanwhile, in Group B, we shall be having Old Kampala SS, Tororo Progressive, Kakungulu Bombo, and as well as St. Charles, Luanga Sasa. In Group C, Kawempe Muslim will be coming in there, Nakaseke International, Luangai Secondary School, Busia Secondary School, and in Group D, we shall be having that St. Joseph Laibi, Nkoma Secondary School, and Chabenda Secondary School, and not forgetting Kaserem Secondary School. In Group E, we shall be having Standard High Zana, Wisdom College, Menta Secondary School, Luwero Secondary School, and in Group F, there will be Lakeside Masese Mvara SS, St. Paul Bukinda, Ndeje Secondary School, and in Group G, there will be Blessed Sacrament Kimanya, Bokeda Comprehensive School, Tawhid Institute, and Highway Chiganda. In Group H, there will be Budo SS, Kakungu Memorial School, Kabong Secondary School, Bulo Parents, and in Group I, which is also a group of deaf, we shall be having, that's Amus College, Kasanga Secondary School, Maddox Secondary School, and Channel Secondary School. Meanwhile, in Group J, there will be, that is St. Kagua High School, Paida Secondary School, and St. Malco High School, St. Julian, and in Group K, there will be Lennon College, that is also really Jinja Secondary School, Bugangari Secondary School, and Mumsi Secondary School. In Group L, Chibuli Secondary School will be coming through, that is also really together with Jinja Comprehensive, St. Augustine, and Seron Courses. And in Group M, that is Jinja Progressive, St. Mary's Luwaga, Coaches Secondary School, Quality High School will be coming in there. And in Group N, there will be Mukono Kings, Fort Porto Secondary School, Pabo Secondary School, Seke Secondary School. And in Group O, there will be Andy Mesigwa School, and there will also be Weldon Secondary School, Makobere Secondary School, Masaka Secondary School, the host. And in Group D and Group P, finally, there will be St. Henry's Chitovur, Kawalega Secondary School, Kabululu Secondary School, and Hillviews College, Bolagira in there. And all these games will be commencing on Monday. And that brings us to the climax of what is happening in the world of sports. But really, before we get to give you that, we did see a game that was between Manchester City yesterday, and the game ended in favor of Manchester City, and the results are really known. And that means that Manchester City still remains on top of the log. And for the Arsenal supporters, Arsenal remains in the second place, as Manchester and Liverpool still continues to remain in the third place there. And that brings us to the end of today's discussion and the week at large. And we wish yourselves also a great weekend. Have yourselves a great weekend. Celebrate carefully. And also want to call upon each and everybody to celebrate with caution. For those who are going to be drinking, drink responsibly. Do not avoid over drinking. Avoid drink driving. And these are all things that we want to remind you, so that you also have a safe weekend. And on Monday we return here and do not talk about accident, because each and every day at least we have been talking about accident. I really want to call upon you now to be vigilant, and I really want to wish you in a great way happy weekend. And up next is the news bulletin in Lubarati, that is with Mukulia Lawrence. Thank you.